¿Qué onda? It's Naninator. This time, I bring you a guide on L2 Hostility by IC0x1. I will cover what this mod is, the basics to be able to get and craft the most sought after items, what each mod effect does, and their spawning conditions. Look at the timestamps to jump to your desired section. What is this? This is a fabulous mod specialized in progressive difficulty. It makes enemies you encounter stronger the more you defeat, and weaker every time you die. It is tied to each player's progress, making it fair for anyone that decides to play multiplayer. Customizable too! When you first spawn in the world, you get a book guide, which I highly recommend you guys read. The main point of interest for L2 Hostility is the insane overpowered items it brings, such as the Infinity Glove that adds 5 ring slots, the Reprint book that clones any enchantment book even if combined, the Detector glasses which allow you to see invisible mobs even when blinded or darkened, and Curio curses that make you more powerful in exchange for making spawned enemies stronger. It also brings some items that are insanely hard to acquire thanks to the L2 Compliments mod. How can I make a chicken survive a Warden Shriek? How do I progress? The main appeal and end goal to the mod is the Curios. Note, this progression is based on the default configuration, so it may differ in specific mod packs to change recipes. That being said, in order to attain them, I divided it into 11 steps. 1. Craft an unpolished looting charm. 2. Kill mobs with traits to collect ingredients. 3. Craft a magical looting charm. 4. Kill mobs with traits that drop cursed droplets, or burn items that can turn into it. Nether stars have the best chance with a 1 out of 64. 5. Craft Curse of Envy to enable you to get traits as drops. 6. Kill and either make a bottle of curse or curse of greed to get an easy bottle of curse. 7. Get a bottle of captured wind. Make sure you fill an empty bottle with a phantom membrane before doing this too. This is easily achievable with Elytra plus fireworks. If you have the Ars Noviu mod installed, you can instead use the launch spell with a pair of amplifications instead too. 8. Craft a chaos ingot and make a chaotic looting charm. Note, you can equip multiple looting charms and curses in some mod packs. They stack. Craft Curios and gear to get stronger and get better loot too. 10. Burn bottles of curse to get hostility essence. This will take a while, it is a 1 in 512 chance. 11. Craft a miracle ingot and miraculous looting charm. A tip I would like to share is that you can smelt the Imagine Breaker for easy chaos ingots, dropped by Dispel trait mobs with a miraculous looting charm. You will continuously improve your gear by making the other looting charms and defeat more enemies for higher tiered traits to spawn. Read the item descriptions to see how to get each one. I heavily recommend you install JEI to check item recipes as well. Increasing difficulty. Every mob you defeat that has a hostility modifier, such as levels or effects, increases the difficulty. Stronger mobs defeated increase it faster too. They also get stronger the further you travel from the world spawn, the number of dimensions you have visited, and the current dimension you find yourself in with a default multiplier of 1.5. You can also increase it by drinking a bottle of curse. Each one raises it by 50 specifically. Easier to obtain with the Curse of Gluttony. Reducing difficulty. There are 2 ways to do this. The first and best way is by drinking a bottle of sanity, which completely resets it. Easy to craft with 1 hostility orb and 3 glass bottles. The second is by dying. It is reduced roughly by 20% every time you do so. Pausing difficulty. You can pause the raise of difficulty by equipping the Curse of Sloth, leaving you at the current level no matter how many mobs you defeat. Preventing spawns. You can deny spawns in 2 ways. By using a hostility orb to cleanse a 5x5x5 area, dropped randomly by any enemy with a modifier. Can be used by equipping some detector glasses and holding a hostility detector in the offhand. Good to keep you safe. 2. Creating a hostility spawner. You will have to place it and activate it to summon strong mob waves, which once cleared will cleanse a 5x5x5 area. It is the same as the hostility orb. If a region is cleared, Their spawner changes to a green color too, so use it as a useful way to check if the area is clean. Curio Trinket Baubles. Curses. You have your Deadly 7 Sins in item form here alongside a pair of original ones by the mod author. 1. The Curse of Envy, the most important curse. Lets mobs with traits have a 2% chance to drop them per level. Adds plus 50 difficulty as well. 2. The Curse of Gluttony. Lets leveled up mobs have a 2% chance to drop a bottle of curse per level. Guaranteed at level 50 plus, basically. 3. Curse of Greed doubles hostility loot drop chance. Adds plus 50 difficulty. 4. Curse of Lust. Guarantees mobs drop equipped items like armor, weapons, and curios. Also adds 50 difficulty. 5. Curse of Pride. You get 0.5% more health and attack damage per difficulty level, making you insanely stronger. Makes mob traits 100% more frequent as well. 6. Curse of Sloth. Defeating mobs will no longer increase difficulty, but you won't get any hostility loot. 7. The Curse of Wrath. Get 2% attack damage per difficulty level difference versus mobs with a higher level than you. Makes you immune to blindness, darkness, mind fatigue, nausea, slowness, and weakness as well, as adding plus 50 difficulty. The 3 others, which are 1, the Abrahadabra, makes it when a mob with a trait applies an effect to you, it reflects and applies it to all surrounding enemies instead. Also adds 100 levels of difficulty. The Greed of Nihilgur, which is the second one, a ×2 hostility loot drop chance multiplier. Mobs killed drop also a plus 0.5% loot per mob level, adding a total of 100 difficulty as well. And 3, the Abyssal Throne. Mobs get all possible traits at their level. When paired with Curse of Envy, guarantees their traits to be dropped. Rings. There are 7 rings that have some very cool properties, and will give you another reason to get the later explained Infinity Glove. 1. The Ring of the Ocean makes you to be always wet. Useful for triggering special effects, especially if you play with other mods. For example, you can infinitely Riptide with a Trident this way, even in the Nether. 2. The Ring of Life, which caps max health loss to 90% per hit. 3. The Ring of Divinity makes you immune to magic damage and get a permanent cleanse effect which clears and prevents all other potion effects. 4. A Ring of Reflection. It reflects, potion effects to the attacker. 5. The Ring of Incarceration that inflicts the incarcerated potion effect to every mob around you and yourself when crouching. This denies all movement, even falling. Combo this with a Ring of Divinity. 6. The Ring of Corrosion. Inflicts 20% durability damage to items equipped on damaged entities, including yourself. Pretty niche shoes, only good if paired with unbreakable items or if you have a way to reduce the effect. 7. The Ring of Healing. Heals 5% max HP per second. Great in modded gameplay with lots of health. Looting Charms. There are 4 of these balls in total. They are needed to make progress through the mod. Once equipped, they allow you to get a chance to drop special items depending on the trait the enemy has. I will explain what each trait does later. So let's first look at the Unpolished Looting Charm. The first charm you will likely make. The basic recipe just uses some basic ores too. This allows you to get some handy items. Just to name a few, you can get the netherite scrap, shulker shells, skeleton skulls, and dragon breath, which is actually needed to make the magical looting charm, requiring said breath, some blaze powder, and a diamond. This lets you get some of the harder items to acquire, such as item 1 and item 2, which are used to craft chaos ingots to make the chaotic looting charm. This charm enables less drops, as you can see in comparison to the previous charms. Nonetheless, all of these will be important to make some stronger curios and to ultimately make the miraculous looting charm, which is the hardest charm to make. This will enable you to get some of the hardest items in the mod that would be otherwise incredibly time consuming. In case you missed it, they are still all important as they enable different kinds of drops. That is why I made this handy chart for your visual reference, showing all the different drops you can get. Now you can equip multiple looting charms to get their stacked effects too. OP Curios. Here, I will be mentioning all other Curios that don't fit into the previous categories, starting with the Flaming Thorn, which inflicts Soul Flame for 5 seconds with strength equal to the total number of effects a mob has. Soul Flame burns entities, similar to being on fire. The Imagine Breaker. It makes melee damage bypass magical protection, but mobs won't drop hostility loot in exchange. Only attainable from mobs with a Dispel trait with a Miraculous Charm. A great item to smelt and make has increments from too. You can also craft it. The Platinum Star. This thing ignores iframes on the enemy. Great with weapons that have fast attack speed or auto attacks like the Aquaflora from Celestine or Nunchaku from Better Survival. Infinity Glove adds +1 charm slots and 5 ring slots. The Divinity Cross. It makes it so the cleanse effect will not clear beneficial potions at level 1. Go with a Ring of Divinity. Divinity Light. Your hostility level will stay at level 0. The Odd Eyes Glasses adds +2 head slots. The Triple Strip Cape adds +3 capes to your slots. The Pocket of Restoration removes the disabling effect put on items by the mobs with a Ragnarok effect. OP items. For this section, let's go over all the useful and crazy things the mod offers too. First, we got the Witch Charge, which makes it that entities hit have negative potion effects with more than 10 seconds, get an increased duration by 50% up to 60 seconds. The Eternal Witch Charge, same as its regular form, but instead makes negative effects infinite. The Booster Potion increases duration of all effects longer than 10 seconds by 50% to a max of 60 seconds. The Book of Reprint allows you to make clones of any enchantment book in an anvil. It costs levels and increases cost the more enchants it has as well. The Book of Omniscience can turn into any enchantment by renaming in an enchantment table using its ID. Alternatively, you can just shift right-click and get all enchantments the enchantment table can produce. This would be insane with a library from the Apotheosis mod. The Witch Wand throws a random splash potion on right-click, has your ability to make up for it, combos nicely with the Witch Charges, but I don't really like it myself. Hostility Beacon. It works like a normal beacon, but inflicts debuffs instead. Only works with blocks of Chaos and Miracle Ingots as a base. Meant for farming or debuffing hostile mobs in an area. Level 1 inflicts Frost and Weakness, Level 2 Soul Burning and Cursed, Level 3 Incarceration and Cleansed. You should probably have the cleanse effect to avoid debuffs affecting you if you decide to use it. Traits. There are 37 traits in total. Each trait can have a level up to a maximum of 5 for a stronger effect. But some of them only reach level 3 or 1 in some cases, which only appear after a certain mob minimum level. For example, Regeneration effect has a minimum mob level of 50 to appear. In order to balance it, they also made it so each trait has a level cost, so they scale the higher they are. Pay close attention to the notes on the screen to see these conditions. Let's start with the basic ones that have simple requirements. They're regular traits. Fire and mobs can ignite you when attacked or attack you. Invisible mobs make their names, modifiers, and armor weapons invisible. Use a glowing effect or detector glasses to see them. Protection mobs get the resistance potion effect. Regenerate mobs will get the regenerate health. Speedy mobs will get the speed potion effect. Tanky mobs will get increased health and armor. Shulkers shoot Shulker bullet every few seconds. It will not inflict levitation, but instead will give you a potion effect the mob carries. Gravitation will make surrounding entities fall faster and jump lower. Moonwalk will do the opposite, making surrounding entities fall slower and jump higher. Counter-Strike gives mobs the ability to dash when hit, launching themselves towards you. Advanced traits. These traits only appear after level 100. Adaptive will adapt to sources you hit them with, reducing damage taken, but you can mitigate it by cycling with different weapons. Higher levels allows them to adapt to more sources at the same time. Reflect will reflect direct physical damage. Ranged and magic will do the trick. Grenade shoots an explosive bullet every 3 seconds after the previous one disappears. These are basically Shulker bullets, but extra dangerous. Growth is an exclusive to slimes only. It allows them to grow larger when healed to full health. Split lets an enemy create 2 copies of itself with half their level and same trait, with 1 level lower split trait when killed. This can get crazy pretty quickly, so be careful. Although it is exclusive to vanilla mobs, Note that subsequent mobs won't drop anything, and you can deny this effect with the same mod's Split Suppressor enchant. Drain mobs will remove random positive potion effects and increase duration of negative effects you have. They also deal more damage if you have negative effects. Reprint. This makes it so, when you are hit, the mob will copy your enchantments, scaling with any you have on equipment, armor, or weapons. Very dangerous. Potion traits. These are all basically your run-of-the-mill potions, like Blinder, which gives blindness, Distorter gives nausea, Levitator gives levitation, Stray inflicts slowness, Weakener inflicts weakness, Poisonous poison, Withering wither, Curse, curse from L2 complements, Soul burner, the same one with the same name from L2 complements, and Freezing, the same one from L2 complements. Legendary traits. These traits will only be unlocked when you kill a mob with rank 5 traits, and appear only after level 100. Corrosion specifically appears after level 200 by default. When hit, it will consume your equipment durability based on lost durability. The Hardened enchantment from the same mod caps the effect to 1 durability maximum. Erosion also appears after level 200. It works exactly the same as Corrosion, but instead lowers durability based on remaining durability. Again, Hardened will be your best friend here. Dementor mobs will be immune to physical damage, and their damage will bypass armor. Use magic damage or abilities that pierce this effect, such as the Imagining Breaker Curio. Dispelling mobs will be immune to magic attacks, and their damage will bypass magical protections. They can also disable enchantments on your equipment for a short time. Very dangerous. Teleport mobs can teleport like Enderman, even directly to you. They have a low chance to reflect physical damage, and they are vulnerable to magic. Repelling pushes the player away, which can be very annoying. An enchanted set of armor from this mod using Insulation helps reduce its strength. Pulling pulls you towards the mob. It's the opposite, which often puts you in dangerous situations. You can enchant your armor with Insulation to help mitigate this too. Undying makes mobs respawn indefinitely. Pretty annoying, as you need either a cursed potion or weapon that can inflict cursed effect. I generally avoid these if possible. Killer Aura appears only after level 300 and is disabled by default. Mobs will deal damage to nearby targets every few seconds. The range is indicated by a particle effect. Very dangerous as well. Ragnarok appears only after level 600, also disabled by default. When you get hits, it will seal or disable some of your armor or curios. You can seal them by placing said item in your hand and eating the seal away, quote unquote. Alternatively, you can use a Pocket of Restoration curio from the same mod. That is everything. Thank you so much for watching. If this helped, feel free to drop a like and subscribe. ¡Ahí los guacho, vatos!